Thank you. First, I want to give a shout out to my student visitor friend from Gaza, sitting in the back. They came with me today to attend the briefing.
Welcome.
So, yeah. I wanted to follow up on Leon's and Humayra's questions on the red line. Is there actually a red line? I mean, do you have a yardstick by which you measure a red line that Israel may cross or may not cross?
So
what is that?
The National Security Advisor to the President spoke to this last week from the White House podium and made clear that there is no mathematical formula that you can apply, but it's something that we will be watching very closely and discussing with our Israeli counterparts.
So in theory, Israel can strike anywhere, basically, and say there are Hamas operatives.
So I'm not going to deal with your theories. I'm going to deal with reality, and what we have said is how we will assess their compliance with this question.
But that is plausible hypothesis.
No, it is not. I'm not going to deal with. I think you know I don't deal with hypotheses. I try to deal with facts from this podium.
So I just wanted to ask you the statement that was issued by this administration over Rafah. When you say Israel has the right to pursue Hamas or to go after Hamas, isn't that implicitly a green light for them to do whatever they want under that pretext?
No, and Saeed, I think that ignores everything that we have said a number of times. It absolutely is not. It is encouraging them to take out terrorists who launched a brutal attack on the state of Israel and carried out the cold-blooded murder of civilians, and at the same time we expect them to do so in full compliance with international humanitarian law, minimizing the harm to civilians. And I know I've pointed this out to you before, Saeed.
Okay.
Hamas could make this a lot easier by stopping hiding behind civilians.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I remember asking you from here on, and I in fact mentioned the name of those who were killed. 4 of them were children, and so on. When they, whether they are going to be safer in Mawasi and in Tel Sultan, where they were asked to leave. At the time seemed like part of a larger plan to move people into a safer zone. But obviously it's not. I mean, we saw killing 45 people in Rafah. We saw killing another 21, nobody knows how many, and so on, just yesterday. So there seems to be no end. Do you guys have any kind of perception on how this thing is going to end and when this horror show stops?
Saeed, as often, there was a lot of premises before you got to the question. Right. I will say with respect to the premises, we've been very clear. Of course, Israel should not carry out strikes in the designated safer areas where they have told people to move. They say that's not what happened here. They're going to conduct a full investigation. We're going to wait the outcome of that investigation before passing judgment, as I think is fully appropriate to do. We want to have all the facts at our disposal. When it comes to how this ends, I think we have also been pretty clear that in addition to a military plan, Israel needs to have a political plan for the day after and for presenting an alternative to Hamas. And we have not yet seen such a plan, and we've been working with our partners in the region to come up with one that we will present to the state of Israel, because we think that is just as important as the military campaign they're conducting.
Lastly, on the aid, if you guys are unable to influence Israel on allowing aid in, what makes you think that you're going to be influential with their military operations in Gaza?
So again, I'm going to reject the premise. We have intervened and seen our interventions been successful throughout the course of this campaign. It was because of U.S. intervention that Rafah was opened in the first place. It was because of our intervention that Kerem Shalom was opened, and that Erez crossing was opened, and that Zikum crossing was opened, and that Ashdod was opened, and that trucks are now coming from Jordan, coming through Israel and making it directly into northern Gaza. And it was because of the intervention of the United States just on Friday that UN trucks were allowed to move again through Egypt into Israel, into Kerem Shalom, and then ultimately on to the people who need them. So I fully reject that premise, and I don't think it's supported by the facts or the history. Go ahead.
Thank you, Matt.